All right, Junkie Nation, we're back. Gorgeous Georgian Goes delivering another MMA superstar. This time it's Joseph Benavidez, one of the kings of the flyweight division. What up, One Kenobi?
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, my man.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that common interest we have down at the Extreme Couture gym. You go there to train. We go to the cover fighters that train. So we haven't seen you like in 2.5 months.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy times for sure.
So what do you do? You run around the neighborhood or, hey, little Benny, right?
I get to spend time with this guy, you know. That's cool.
Hey, that's Ben. Little Benny?
That's Big Ben. On the streets they call him Big Ben. So, yeah, man.
Is he the tough guy in the neighborhood at the neighborhood dog park?
Yeah, pretty much. Neighborhood watch, most feared bark on the street. That's for sure.
Joseph, what have you done to not stay crazy? Do you go run around the park? Do you do sprints? Do you have a gym at home? How do you get your training in since access to gyms is limited? USPPI is shut down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can train here and there, but limited people and, you know, more, you know, private gyms and stuff and, you know, private sessions. So that's always good. But before that, I have a nice home gym, Peloton, sauna, double end bag, heavy bag, and Airdyne bike. So I was in there all the time. I go to the park and I play spike ball. That's always good. And then, yeah, as far as workouts, that's basically how I get my workouts in. You know, shadow box whenever, but a lot of work in the garage. Other than that,
you kind of dropped spike ball on me like everyone knows what that is. Either I'm lagging, I don't know what spike ball is, or you're the only one on the planet that knows what it is. But what is spike ball?
Spike ball is it's a new craze. There's actually college spike ball I saw on ESPNU the other day, and that was interesting. But no, it's a spike ball. Funny enough, I started playing a lot at the UFC PI like after my conditioning. It's like a very hand-eye coordination. So it's basically volleyball and foursquare mixed. So there's a little net, and you put the net on the ground. The net is bouncy like a little trampoline, and you play volleyball from there. So you hit it on the net. You know, it's a 2-on-2. You hit it on the net. The other team has 3 hits to get it to the net instead of like over the net, and then you got to go from there. So I mean, it's a good game, hand-eye coordination that I like to play. It's a fun time.
Let's say you said it's a college game. Let's say 2 guys came over from UNLV and they said, "We're the UNLV spike ball champs. Pick another guy or gal. Let's go right now. Let's go." Who in the USPPI would you pick to be your partner in spike ball versus these 2 college studs?
Well, I'm gonna feel bad saying this because my strength and conditioning coach Bo, the head of the PI strength, he's been my partner. Like that's my partner. I play me and him go play 2 other guys, but the other guy, the other strength coach, Kyle Larimer, who's the assistant strength coach to Bo, he's actually the better spike ball player. He doesn't lose, and he's really good, so I'd have to pick him. So, like, me and Bo Sandoval play, like, Cody Stamen and Kyle. And basically, Kyle, you can put anyone on his team, and he wins. He's really good. So I'd have to pick Kyle Larimer.
Even Goes and Kyle could beat you and Bo?
Probably.
Wow.
Kyle's good. We did that the other day. We tried to put the worst player with Kyle that hadn't won and like barely didn't know how to play, and Kyle like made him better. It was frustrating.
Did you stay home while Megan was in Jacksonville for those 8 to 11 days?
I did. Yeah, I stayed home. Me and Benny held the fort down. You know,
what were you thinking? Like, were you scared, or after a few days did it go away? Like, what? Tell me about that time. You know, your wife out there, 3 different sets of athletes and everything, and you know, even on day 1, you know, things got a little shaky there with Jacare. But what were you thinking? Like, were you chilling? Or was it a stressful time?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little stressful. I mean, I didn't want her to leave. I didn't want her to leave. I mean, I was worried about her safety. Like, I don't want her to leave in general when the world's normal. But then she was leaving, so she was leaving for 10 days, and you never really know how everything's going to go. I mean, at the end of the day, we can take all the precautions you want, but, you have to get there in a, in a residential airport, you know, all that kind of stuff. Or sorry, a domestic airport. That was the word. You have to fly over in a domestic airport. She had layovers. I mean, you can't trust other people. Like the UFC can do everything when you get there, but you still, on the way. So, she got there. She got her test. She told me she was good. And so my wife is such a clean freak anyway, Megan. You guys might know her as, the great Megan O'Leary, reporting extraordinaire on ESPN for the UFC. But, my wife. Um,
And the NFL on Sundays on Fox.
And the NFL, yeah. So she's like a clean freak. So even before she left, she posted a picture of like, thank God everybody is on the mask game now. She's always flown with a mask. So if you follow Megan, she's been wearing a mask for years. And she's like, so it was already a new thing for her. So I trust her as far as like, she wanted to work. I mean, obviously, it's a great time. It's a great thing to be a part of. And I knew the UFC, like I said, was doing their good job. So when she got tested, I knew she was going to do the right thing. Like a lot of people can get tested and not really, respect and be like, oh, I'll still go out this, still go out that. I don't have to follow these codes. I'm like, she always wore masks. She has, she had 3 shows to, basically 3 fight weeks within 1 week. So I knew she was going to be busy, and that made me feel a little more safe of just like, hey, it's not like I'm here like vacationing, going out and exploring Jacksonville. Like I have, 3 fighters worth of cards to get prepared for in 1 week. So here we go. So I knew that was good. And like I said, she's smart and safe anyway. And then once she was actually telling me how the UFC was working all their precautions and stuff, it made me feel really comfortable because she's a germaphobe anyway. And when she told me, like, wow, they're actually doing a really good job. They're making us do this. I mean, you guys have heard the protocol. I don't have to go through it, but then we have to quarantine until we're good again. Then we're doing this. Then we're doing this. And we're separating. I'm doing interviews from here. You know, yeah, I felt really good about it. And the other thing is, as much as I wanted to go, I was actually recommended not to go if I didn't have to. So I knew they were taking precautions of like even for people's family and stuff. So, it was something you have to do. At the end of the day, you gotta get up, you gotta go to work, and I think we were both excited and almost I mean, we'll definitely we're proud to be a part of the UFC, but we're really proud then and just for them to pull it off like that with minimal risk and just the time it was. I think even for Megan, it was a big, it was something she'll remember in her broadcasting career, like something that won't happen again.
No doubt. It was very historical. It took a lot of people to put it together, not just the fighters, the production team, the support staff, everybody. So credit to all of them. They all had a hand.
UFC staff
all a lot of courage, you know what I mean? So we tip our hat to all of them, seriously. All right, Joseph, let me ask you this. Deiveson Figueiredo, that news dropped. Looks like, I don't know if contracts are or anything, but when it's on Junkie, I trust our editorial team that you and Deiveson Figueiredo are locking up. On July 18th, location to be determined. Sounds to me like White Island, but if not, Vegas. How are you feeling? That has to be a relief.
Yeah, that's great. Great time. We don't know the location yet, but Fight Island, like we just talked about, that'll be another thing of just, fighting during this quarantine. I think it's funny enough, it's something all of the fighters kind of want to experience and kind of be a part of, knowing the world's watching and stuff. So you see guys coming out of the woodworks, ready to fight again after they've already fought. So it's something I always look forward to. I just, obviously for my fight and where I'm at, I'm just kind of like, well, I obviously want it to be with enough time. I don't want to just, hey, I want to fight during quarantine just because it's cool. So, I got an, amount of time I'm comfortable with. till July 18th. And yeah, it's exciting. I mean, this is the fight I've obviously wanted. Like, basically, the way I look at it is, I mean, for one, it's a title fight. It's great. And, I just look at it as like, this is this is what would have happened if the referee happened to step in, when the headbutt happened. Like, we're starting from there, and kind of just, forget about everything else and look at how the fight was going up until then, and obviously what adjustments you can make. But it's like, all right, if the referee would have stopped the fight, like, now we're starting again, a few months later, because I think I deserve that, to have that. I mean, I was even looking at this last fight that really caught my eye was the Cejudo Cruz fight, for more reasons than one, watching that fight. But a lot of people talk about Keith Peterson doing this and that and the stoppage, but he made an incredible call right before that of stopping the fight when they accidentally clashed heads, which allowed Cejudo, to then get the finish, to recuperate, check his cut and get the finish. And I was just like, oh, that was an actually great call he had, because it's not easy to see, headbutts when guys are, throwing, because you're typically throwing a punch, when that happens too. So he made a great call there, which allowed Cejudo to finish. So yeah, I'm just looking at it like that, as like, I just wanted my fair shake and get it stopped and looked at and be able to start, with all my wits about me, instead of, I was basically rocked and finished after that headbutt. That's all. It's the last thing I really remember.
Joseph, that first fight, you guys spent almost 9 minutes in the cage together. Was that valuable time? Like, do you feel like game plan was being executed prior to that, to that sequence you just talked about? Or is it going to be kind of something fresh, like, like a new set of plays, like if you were a football team?
I think it's going to be a little different. Like, I think it was good intel for me to take in, me and my team and my coaches to take in, having the 9 minutes in there with him and seeing what worked and didn't. But I can't actually, I mean, I won the first round on every judge's scorecard. I felt like I was getting his timing, and I, started connecting better with all the shots I wanted. But in a way, like, I wouldn't say like the game plan was going as it planned. It was more, I was fighting a bit instinctual, I think, at that point, and a lot of it was this. So, obviously you have a certain way you want to fight and whatever, and I was winning, but that was me fighting. So you can't necessarily, a game plan was being implied, because so we got into the first scramble after the takedown, and, we got up from that scramble, and it was a nice little grappling based scramble. When we got up from that, I saw Figueiredo tired, which we thought that was going to come like in the second, third round or something. But, he looked tired when we got up. So I kind of went into, like my default setting, which is like, oh, he's tired. What am I going to do? Circle and be strategic, or like, he's tired, like, attack him. So what you saw in that fight, I think, was me seeing a tired guy and me trying to attack him and capitalize on the fatigue I saw. So, that's a plan and a default plan that always works as well. But, I also have a lot of other ways to win and a lot of other ways to fight, through my experience and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I guess to answer your question, it wasn't necessarily how the game plan was going. It was good because, I won the first round on all the cards, and I thought I was landing clean and everything. And once I see a guy tired and I start attacking and the attacking works, you don't necessarily change it up like, oh, I'm hitting him with big shots, I should circle and jab him, or, let him rest a little bit. So, like I said, so that's good. I mean, that's always a default that I can do. I can be faster, be trickier, can land hard shots, hopefully hurt him. But I have a lot of other things in that fight I didn't show too.
Joseph, when you look at the fight, the night of, you go back to your room and you think about it in your head, is it any different, the things that you see later on, let's say a week from then, when you actually watch tape with your coaches and you see what you did right, what you did wrong, how much different is it motion-wise and just tactical-wise, the two visions?
Like from watching the night of and watching it a week later?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I watched it the night of. So just replaying in my mind what happened, how the night of went, it was very frustrating, but it was also like, I guess like the loss and the fact that that part was over was frustrating. The performance and stuff was hard to say because you're just kind of like, well, like what can you do? Like you were doing good. It was a good fight. Like I'm not going to say, he didn't show that he belonged because I think it was a tremendous fight while it lasted and we were both landing incredible shots. Surprised me with it, with the grappling and everything. Like it was a good fight. So you go out there and you're glad it was a good fight and it was, a great competitor across from you. And you're more frustrated that you lost. You can't necessarily think of anything good you were doing. And then, the coaches are more the ones to step in and say, hey, well, I think when you see the fight, you'll be, you won the first round on all three judges' scorecards. Like, I don't think you'll be, upset. And I'm like, I'm not necessarily upset at the way I fought because I saw myself landing punches and I heard the crowd. I heard, the excitement and everything. I'm just, it's your emotions change when your freaking dreams are crushed that night. Like you don't want to look at any good you did or any bad you did, and you can't really have a clear mind. And so I probably didn't watch it till a few weeks later. And you can watch it a little bit and see some stuff, but at the end of the day, I mean, it still kind of takes over that part of like, oh, well, you know, um, look how it freaking ended. Like, what would have happened? And it's hard not to think that. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna take all this stuff in, and that's something that I mainly lead my coaches to do, and I watch it a few times because I don't know. I don't. It sounds funny. I guess I don't like to watch myself losing, just like I don't like to watch sometimes my opponents. Like if I watch film on them, I don't watch them do good. I watch like how were they beaten, more so. So. Um, I guess with this fight, it's different though. I could honestly tell you, like, I haven't studied it that much.
When the night of, even for us watching at home, the headbutt was something that we saw right away. It wasn't even a like, hey, did that happen or anything? You could see right away. You could see it affected you.
I wish you were the ref.
I know. The controversy from that night made that night a little strange.
Dude,
Did you?
He smelled like crack.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Did you have a chance to talk to either the referee afterwards or even Deiveson? Did anybody say anything the night of?
About the headbutt?
Yeah, just overall the controversy.
Oh yeah, everybody did. Everybody did. That night, I didn't talk to the ref. I don't remember who the ref was. That night, I didn't talk to the ref. Obviously, I talked to my corner. I talked to everybody, in there. I'm getting stitched up. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're talking about the whole time of just like fucking headbutt, blah, 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 this and that. That was going good before that. Like, how did you feel like when that happened? And I was like, I didn't feel anything. Like that was the finishing blow to me. Like, it's kind of weird because I've been finished one time, but I was like hit and then I was finished and I woke up. So it's like with that, it was like, oh, that's how it feels to like get rocked with a punch, but it's a headbutt. And like that's the finishing blow. Like I don't remember what else happened. I just know it was done and I was rocked. So, we talk about all that and how that happens. But as far as the controversy, when I was getting stitched on the table, my manager was already like going in there and saying, hey, like they want to run that back as soon as we can because for one, the title's vacant because the guy missed weight, but also it's like like that wasn't a finish. Like the referee didn't catch the headbutt. Like we have to like do this again. And they were literally asking me, I think, that night and even a few days after, like, when do you think we can do this again? And I was like, well, and now we've come to that time. But yeah, it was already a thing, and I think, I mean, even if you look at just the media, like, and people, like, they know that's the way it finished. I don't think anyone was just like, oh wow, like he totally outclassed him and beat him. So I think there was controversy not only from the weight cut, but an added, amount with this. And the other controversy I found out a few weeks later is from the Brazilian media saying that in the ring, I guess he was bragging about headbutting me and like could see it coming and wanted to hurt me with the headbutt. And he said that in the ring, that he was like from the north of Brazil and that's what they do is headbutt people or something like that. But obviously his translator didn't say that. And I guess Brazilian media asked him about it. And he's like, oh, no, 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 no. And they had a big story change. But I guess he was proud of like bragging about the headbutt or something like that. And it took a while for Brazilian media to get to me and tell me like, oh, did you know he was saying that? I wouldn't assume you did since you don't understand Portuguese, but his translator just didn't say what he said after that he was bragging about winning by headbutt.
Wow, I'd never heard of that. That's pretty odd. Is that something that when you see him, you might bring up and just kind of get clarification on it?
I mean, to him?
Yeah.
I mean, well, he doesn't speak English at all. So, I mean, I don't really know how we would, how I would even confront him, even if I wanted to, So, I think just the best way to handle it is just to go in there and beat him this time.
All right, Joseph. So let's close with this. I believe the referee, by the way, was Mergliata. And you brought up Peterson's name earlier. He had a controversy.
But I mean, he did have controversy, but like I look at that and I look at the call he did before that, which was the call I wish I would have had, which is like you saw the guy get headbutt and you stopped and let him get his wits about him when he could have been rocked or bleeding or whatever it may be. So, I mean, there is controversy, but like people forget about like the good calls you make.
No, this isn't to disparage him or anybody. I think every single one of them, you can think of a mistake they've made, but for the most part, they usually get it right. I have tremendous respect for all the referees, but I did want to ask you something. Something a lot of fighters don't know is, and I'll use the Nevada State Athletic Commission as an example, when they are actually assigning the judges and the refs, if you feel like there's a referee that you don't want to oversee your fight, I believe you have the ability to decline one time, and then the next ref they give you, that's the ref. There's no, well, I don't like him, and I don't like him, and I don't like her, or whatever. Is that something you think you might consider, or are you just okay with whatever they bring, whoever the judges are, whoever the refs are? Because that's something that happens in boxing more than in MMA, I've noticed, where there's those politics, of who's, who's walking in first, and who's doing this and who's doing that.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really blame a ref because, like you said, it sucks when it happens to you, so it's a lot easier for you to take something personal and blame it, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like everyone makes mistakes. Like they could easily, make it not, I don't know. It's hard. For one, I didn't even know that was a thing that you could decline it because I've never had an issue to the point where I'd be like, oh, I hope this guy's not reffing. I hope this guy's not reffing. So I've never even had that to care. I just, I see the ref and I worry about what I'm going to do. So I don't look at like, oh, this is a bad ref we definitely don't want or something like that. So I've never thought of that in general. And I don't know if I'd necessarily think about it now or really let it affect me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's something I would change up or put too much concern in, especially the night of the fight. You get a ref, you got to go out and do your job.
We'll end with this, because that was my last MMA question. This is my last question. You've been stuck at home for 10 weeks. Tell me a good movie or two or a documentary on Netflix because you're the king of the movies. Tell me something I don't know. I know Ozark. I know Dead to Me. But give me a series or a movie that you would say, George, not many people know this, but I'm about to blow your mind away because this is great filmmaking.
Well, one people don't really know about it, and I'm surprised that a lot of people don't watch it, is What We Do in the Shadows.
Well, no. Is that a series or a movie?
It's a series, and that series is on Hulu. Oh, actually, well, funny enough, they do have a movie about it. So this is two birds with one stone. They have a movie that was made a while back in, I think, 2014 or 15. And then they made a TV show about it as well that's on FX. So do you know Taika Waititi?
No, I'm old, dude. I don't know who these people are.
He's the writer, creator, director. Well, he also stars in Jojo Rabbit, the movie, and Hunt for the Wilder People. And was that? Doesn't he like direct The Mandalorian? Yeah, he does a little bit of The Mandalorian, and he's doing a Thor movie and stuff like that. But he has his own original comedies too. Really quirky. He's from New Zealand, so. But Jojo Rabbit was one of my favorite movies of the year last year, if not the favorite movie of the year last year. So, dude, I could go on about this forever. So I guess with movies, we could do Jojo Rabbit. And another one that nobody really knows about was from last year was a movie called Honeyland. And that was a documentary. That's also on Hulu. But the What We Do in the Shadows is the show that's on FX, and it's a comedy show. It's nothing Ozarky drama filled, but it's just the best way I can explain it to people to watch is I don't watch comedies. Like, I don't watch funny things. Like, I hate laughing. So So I don't like watch funny things. Like, I need something like disturbing or like dramatic or something like that. So I don't seek out comedies, but like it's the best. It's the best kind of comedy. It's incredible. It's basically it's about vampires, but even though vampires aren't in real life, it's a satire on vampires. Even though, it can't be a satire because vampires aren't real, and a satire is something about real life. Like, they basically follow vampires in the modern day and just all the hijinks they get into, like living like on Staten Island, like, and like trying to go out and like eat regular food, and like it's just hilarious. But it's just funny, and I think that the movie came out at that time when like vampires were like super sexy, like Twilight and stuff. So he made this show of like actual vampires living and just how ridiculous it is. But it's amazing. And the show on FX, like, I was actually reluctant to watch it for a while because the movie was so good. I was like, the show can't be that great. It doesn't have the same cast or anything. But Taika Waititi was still behind the creation of it. So like, it still has to be good. And I'm on the second season right now. Well, it's running live. The first season blasted through it, and they're renewing it for a third. But it's just fun. It's just fun, like smart comedy that me and Megan both enjoy. I could go on though. I mean, I have a million, but that's a good one.
Well, we'll do it for the next time. But I'll have to check these out. I wrote them down. What We Do in the Shadows, Jojo Rabbit, and Honeyland.
Do you like laughing?
Of course.
Okay, you would like it.
Like the series. I like the serious stuff too, but no, I don't mind laughing. That's why I'm a big Impractical. Impractical Jokers is the only show on TV that actually makes me, just catch me off guard a little bit. But everything else on TV, I just sit there and I'm like, nah, well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'm weird.
Yeah, no, I don't really laugh out loud either when I'm watching the show. I'm more just like, I smirk and I'm just like, that was amazing. And sometimes I'll just like rewind it and I won't laugh on either like the rewind or the live watch, but I'm just kind of like, I just sit there and I'm just like super satisfied that like how good the writing and the comedy and like just how original it is. Like it's more of just a smirk. I just sit there like satisfied, like when I see something really funny, but I'm not like a laugh out louder either.
All right, my man. Well, you know,
have a rabbit. It's amazing.
Have a safe camp, you know, and maybe somewhere right before July 18th, we'll be able to catch you at Extreme Couture for a quick off guard just to see how the camp went. But, you know, always thinking about you guys. We're in the same town, but, you know, nobody's crossing paths right now. So stay safe out there in Cumberland. And, you know, you, Benny, Megan, everybody get through this. And let's bring back the sport. Let's bring back sports, man. MMA's doing it. We're leading the way. Now we got to get the arenas and the stadiums filled. You know what I mean?
I know. It's crazy. You're proud to be a part of it. So it's good times.
All right, brother. Enjoy your Saturday. Brother. Thanks for the time as always.
Thanks, guys.